Hey guys, this is going to be a short and straight to the point Easter egg on Liberty Falls, so let's go ahead and get started. The first step I actually highly recommend doing is going ahead and building the jet gun. Head over to this area on the map next to Speed Cola where you'll find a tap with a water valve on it. Pick that up and head over to the bowling alley in Liberty Lanes. Now once you're there, you'll find a panel where if you shoot it, it'll open up for you to go ahead and place the water valve. Now do keep this in mind, if you place this down, an infinite amount of zombies will spawn, so just prep up a little bit if you need to before you actually go ahead and get started. However, if you are ready, you can just go ahead and place it down and get started. Now, once you go ahead and place it down, a new prompt is going to show up for you to hold down the interact button to start the pressure gauge. Now, like I said before, an infinite amount of zombies will spawn during this, so just be a bit mindful. If you're playing co-op, I recommend have a friend help you and defend you while you're going ahead and just charging up that pressure gauge. However, if you are playing solo, just try and train a bunch of zombies in a nice, neat area and then come back to charge the pressure gauge. Your progress will stay, however, it can dip down a little bit if you keep it out for too long. Now, once you're done, it'll drop a water pressure gauge. Pick that up and we can go ahead and move on to the next part. Now, to get the next part of the jet gun, you need to head over to the cemetery that's nearby the church. Now, once you're there, you need to go ahead and stay there for a while to wait for a zombie to spawn called a groundskeeper. Now, I think it's a random chance of when he spawns, but from my experience, he's either spawned at the end of the round or the start of the round. The best way to actually differentiate him from the normal zombies is that instead of following you, he'll actually go ahead and just run away from you. Now, of course, once he spawns in, just kill him and he'll go ahead and drop the toolshed key. A little note is if you do actually let him get away, he will disappear, but after a couple of rounds, he will just respawn back again. Now, once you've actually picked up the toolshed key, head over to this area where you'll find an actual, toolshed. Now, if you just hold the interact button on the door, it'll open up, and if you go inside, you'll see a handbrake, which is the second part to the jet gun. Now, the final part can actually be found in the video store across from Ollie's Comics. To actually get in here, you'll either need two items, the mutant injection or the mangler cannon, which can be dropped by the mangler, or you can use the crafting table to go ahead and just make them. And once you have either, use the cannon to go ahead and aim and shoot at the gate. Now, once inside, you can actually go ahead and find a bunch of dig spots lying around in the video store, which if you dig up, you can find salvage, vermin, and the thing you're actually looking for is electrical wires. Now, once you've dug that up, you can go ahead and start crafting the jet gun. Now, head back to spawn to where the motel is and just head on the second floor. And you'll find some zombies busting out of a motel room, just kill them and then head inside where you'll find the crafting table for the jet gun. Craft the jet gun and we can go ahead and start the actual Easter egg. Head over to the church where the pack-a-punch is, and as soon as you go in, on your right you'll see a generator. Interact with the generator and it'll start some dialogue from someone called Panos. Once the dialogue is finished up, you need to collect 3 items with a jet gun. One of the items is a hat, which you can basically find immediately in the church. Use your jet gun to go ahead and suck it up, and then we can move on to the next part. The next part can actually be found nearby where Speed Cola is. Just head up this way and just jump down onto this white truck where if you look through this window, you'll find the part, suck it up with the jet gun, and then we can move on to the last part. The last part can actually be found in the comic book store, up in the ceiling, just in this hole, suck it up, and then we can go ahead and start building the LTG. Now just head over to the zipline above Speed Cola and just zip on over to the roof of this building and head over to the crafting table nearby and craft the LTG. Once the LTG has been crafted, pick it up and head over back to the church. Now once you're back in the church, you'll go ahead and find a ether canister in the generator. Pick it up and take it to spawn nearby where the trap is and just place it down right here. Now keep in mind, when you do pick up an ether canister, you will not be able to sprint. Next, head over to the ether storm nearby spawn and go ahead and place down the LTG, which will start a defense mission. You'll have to defend the LTG for about 60 seconds, and keep in mind any zombies that get sucked up, it will take a lot of damage. Once completed, a HVT will spawn with either a mangler or an abomination. Now don't kill the HVT, just weaken it enough to the point until it starts to glow purple. Once it starts to glow purple, lead it over to the canister to where you dropped it off earlier, activate the trap, and then kill it, and you'll see its essence go ahead and go inside of the canister. Now before you do pick up this canister, just a little tip in mind, what's going to happen is as soon as you pick this up, it's going to start a 1 minute and 30 minute timer, and of course, if you do pick up the canister, you're not going to be able to sprint, so just be mindful of that. Once you do go ahead and pick up the canister, go ahead and take it over back to the church where the generator is, and just place it down there. Once you've done that, there's going to be some more dialogue, and after that, on the generator, there's going to be a thing called a Staruss counter. Now keep in mind, this item will replace your tactical, but it is an essential part of the Easter egg. Once you picked it up, head over to the stairs nearby Liberty Lanes where you'll find a small little projector. Now, if you pull out your Staruss counter, it's going to show one of 3 colors, red, yellow, or green. Now, you have to sort of match the colors in a way from the Staruss counter and also the actual projector. So the way this works is if the Staruss counter is showing the color green, then you have to switch the color on the projector to red. And if the color of the Staruss counter is yellow, you have to switch it to yellow. And lastly, if the color of the Staruss counter is red, then switch the projector to green. To do this on the projectile, all you have to do is just interact with it and it'll just cycle between green, yellow, or red. Since you know how to do that, the second location can be found nearby where you found the handbrake in just this area. Just do the same thing as before with the Staruss counter and we'll move on to the last projector. And the last projector can be found using this zip line up to this roof, buying this barricade over here and drop down to this area and it'll be right here. Now, if done correctly, 3 beams are going to shoot up into the sky and into spawn, which the ether canister will be there ready to be picked up. I highly recommend before you pick it up, make sure to go ahead and actually pick up the LTG. Now, once you've picked up the ether canister, head over to where speed collar is and just drop it down nearby the trap. Now, this step is pretty much going to be the same as before. Now go ahead and place down the LTG at the ether storm at the cemetery. Just do the defense missions as normal, the HVT will spawn, weaken it, lead it over by the trap, kill it, and collect its essence, and bring the ether canister to the generator in the church. Now, once that's done, basically the next step of this Easter egg is essentially the quote-unquote boss fight. So I highly recommend go ahead and just gear up with legendary weapons, tier 3 pack-a-punch, and also just upgrade your jet gun to the highest level rarity as possible. And I highly recommend craft a mutant injection as it's going to help a lot during the final part of the fight. Now, this fight will have a couple of phases, the first one being just normal zombies, and then a Mangler HVT will spawn. Now the second phase will be the same, it will just be a load of zombies to kill, and on top of that, an abomination HVT will spawn, and once you kill it, it'll basically kill you. That's a bit weird, honestly, I don't know why. And it'll start the Liberty Falls ending cutscene. And that will be the Liberty Falls Easter egg completed for you, done, dusted. I hope you guys have found this helpful because this is actually my first guide that I've done, period, on like Call of Duty Zombies. And I appreciate if you're going ahead and watching it. And stay tuned because I'll be going ahead and uploading more guides later on. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.